Hey friends, welcome back to Booked and Rooted. Today I'm going to be going over my soil mix with you. I will also be repotting a few plants, but I am finally going to show you what I use for my soil mixture. If you are interested, keep watching. So of course the base of my soil mixture is soil. I'll be using about 45% soil, and I'm using the Nature's Care Organic and Natural Potting Soil. I've never used this one before. I've been wanting to try it. Had a hard time finding it. I finally found some recently at Home Depot. So I'm very excited about trying this for the first time. I usually use the regular Miracle-Gro. It comes in a yellow bag that, probably most people use. But I've been wanting to use this. Now, it does say it has like a root nutrient, which has alfalfa meal, bone meal, earthworm worm castings, and kelp meal. Now, my soil does also contain earthworm castings. With that being said, I'm probably going to use a little bit less of what I would normally use today in my soil. I also use orchid bark, and I will be adding a little bit of charcoal. Orchid bark is great for aeration and drainage. It helps your soil drain very well. And the ideal potting mix is one that allows quick drainage and ample air movement around the roots. So orchid bark definitely allows that. A wide range of potting materials and mixes can be used for growing plants. One of them is a bark mix. I'll also be using coco coir. Now this is an alternative to soil. It can be used for just soil. If you notice, when you buy plants from big box stores, sometimes they have the full plant is planted in coco coir. I've never used coco coir alone. I've always added it to my soil, so I'll be adding this as well. I'll also be using perlite, and perlite is for the same. It's the little white pebbles, little white like styrofoam pebbles, and it's also for aeration and drainage. I try to use a nice amount of things to help with aeration and drainage because that is very important for most plants and most of my plants. And then I'll be using a little bit of worm castings. Worm castings contain minerals such as concentrated nitrates, potassium and magnesium, calcium. Worm castings are also 100% organic fertilizers. And then I'll also be using, and this is the last ingredient, I'll be using diatomaceous earth, which is pest control. It is a non-toxic way to control pests in your garden, of course also in your plants. It is effective against all insect pests that crawl on plants because contact with the powder is extremely dehydrating. After watering the plants, dust them with the applicator. This will help powder stick to your plant surfaces. I prefer not to do that. I prefer to add it to my soil because I don't like that white powder being on top of my plants. And that stuff is very, very messy. It kind of gets all over the place. So I prefer to add it into my soil. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like when I make my soil, where I start at, and we're going to get it all mixed up. I picked up this Birds of Paradise at Walmart in the garden center, and I'm going to leave it outside. Put a few of my plants outside. I'm really excited about how well they'll do out here because we're finally getting good weather. So I'm just going to repot it and get it in my new potting mix. As far as repotting, sometimes I can just do my repotting right inside of the tote. That way all the dirt gets in the tote, stays in the tote, doesn't get messy. So for this purpose, for the video purposes, since I'm outside and I'm not in my regular area where I will repot, I'm going to repot a plant in this tote. So there it is, friends. There is my potting soil. It all mixed up and ready to go. So this will last me probably for, it'll last throughout the summer. It just depends on how many plants I get, how many plants I need to repot. So yeah, it'll last me throughout the summer for sure. The last mixture that I made lasts me throughout the summer, and I just ran out like a couple weeks ago. So that said, there it is. I hope this is helpful to you. If you use this potting mix, please let me know how you like it for your plants. And until next time, thank you so much for joining me here at Booked and Rooted, and have a great day. Peace.